note that says, Bob, it was so nice to meet you last night. I'd really like to talk to you soon, see if we can get together for coffee. I'll give you a call in a few days. Joe. Again, it's really simple, but you're letting this person know that they're important to you. Don't put your business card in there, though. You know why? Because you gave them your business card last night at the networking event. They already have your business card because this person is really important to you. So now you follow up with the A prospect, and you start, over time, you definitely make sure that you keep in touch with them at least once every other month. You send them an email, you give them a call, you stop in. They're somebody that you want to spend time with. You get to know what they like. You get to know their birthdays. Ask them questions about their family. They're somebody that you want to be in touch with who they are. One of my number one clients, I know everything about them. This past week, one of the marketing director for this company had a problem where her child was sick, and her child needs round-the-clock care. And the nurse quit, gave 2 weeks' notice, and she was freaking out. I said, when we were talking on the phone, because I just happened to call about an order that she put in. When we were talking on the phone and she was expressing how anxious she was, I said, I'm on it. And I started making phone calls right away. And by the end of that day, she had a new nurse. And it was just because I reached out to the people that I know in my sphere. Now, why do I know these people? Because I go to so many networking events. That's what I do. I go to all these networking events, I get to know people. I ask people questions about themselves. How can I help you? So now we're at the point where we have our business cards. We've already sent out our thank you letters, thank you notes, and emails. So we have this stack of business cards. Well, but every night you come home, and when you come to your office or come home from a business networking event, you're always going to have a handful of cards. Now, again, going back to when you have the big stack, I want to just talk about the big stack. That's when you use somebody like Cass back there, that's what he does. His business is about helping us, because I did that recently. I had a couple of thousand business cards that I did manually, and let me tell you, it was one of the biggest bears that I've ever dealt with in my life. And the money that his company charges for is so well worth it. I can assure you, I lost so much time doing that. Try and if you can, hire somebody to do that kind of thing, to input. If you have a big 10 boxes of business cards or whatever, like I did. But now what we start to do is, on a regular basis, when we get home from the networking events or get to our office, we start inputting them into our CRMs. A CRM is what's called a customer relationship management system. And now we start to input them one each time. It takes you just a few minutes if you do that. Between inputting the business cards that you've just gotten and sending the emails should take you maybe maximum 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you stop and take a couple of phone calls. But it really shouldn't take you long at all. If you develop this system and you stick with it, it is something that will help you to grow your business, because you'll be able to stay on top of your prospects. Now, when I do that, when I input it into my CRM, I use Zoho. Does anybody else here use a CRM? Do you know what David does? Has anybody here ever heard of Zoho? Okay, well, Zoho is the free version. Is a free is a free version of this system, and that's the one that I use, and it has all the bells and whistles I need. If you need more, there are other ones. There's Salesforce. There's another one that's called Salvo 360. Insider, I believe, is another one. There's a whole bunch of them. You should definitely, if you're somebody that's out networking and you're trying to build your business, you should absolutely be using a CRM system. And it's very simple. Zoho is very easy to download. And I'm not promoting them, it's what I use, and it's what I know. It's very simple to use. So you categorize your prospects now. Now that you've got them, you categorize them, and you put them, like I said, the A's, the B's, and the C's. And so this way you can keep track of them over time, and you do the little touches with them. You do little touches with them so that this way, over time, whether it's the B's, the C's, or the A's, you follow up and always mark down what it is you did. What I like to do is after I start getting comfortable with my A's and my B's, is I start to send them, I'll send them a little rack card or a brochure. You don't have to, we should all keep some kind of printed material that we can send to people. It does not have to be expensive stuff. This is just a rack card that I printed. It's very simple, just gives a little brief description on this real estate company. Here's a brochure that I printed. It's very simple. It wasn't expensive for her to print. It's something that we could all do. You can do a lot of them, or you can do a little of them. But you should always have some kind of printed material. I'm going to go to talk about Suzanne Cheney. She had changed to not doing a paper newsletter for quite a while. And I think your business stayed flat, right? And then when she went back to a paper newsletter, but wrote it in a...
Email. I went from paper to email.
Right, and it didn't do anything for you. And then when she went back to paper, but followed somebody's instructions about how to lay it out a different way and to make it more personal, she saw a great increase in business because of that. Now, I'm not going to say what the percentage was, but I got to tell you, if any of us, our businesses were to have an increase like Suzanne's did based on just because of a newsletter, we'd all be running to my print shop and begging me to print them, I can assure you, because it was that kind of an increase. So one of the things that I find when I'm out is what you want to start to be is you want to start to be known as the go-to guy or the go-to gal. You've got those people, they go to the networking events, and they start to feel, they walk into the networking events and they want to get business right away, and they get frustrated when they don't. They come to the networking events and they say, well, they'll go for a little while, and then they'll say, all of a sudden you won't see them anymore. And you say to them, hey, why aren't you coming to Chapel Hill Leads, or why aren't you coming to, the business after hours? And they'll say, I went a couple of times and I didn't get any business. How am I supposed to get it, grow my business if I'm not getting any orders when I go to these things? And I say, you look at these people like you're crazy, but I've heard it over and over and over again. So many times we hear that same thing. You know what I found? The answer to that is very easy. The answer to, if you want to get business from networking events, you've got to start giving to people what they want. Don't walk in there thinking only, this is what I want. I want you to give me orders. It's not going to work that way. I would love to walk around a networking event with a pad and a pen and taking orders. You want letterhead? Okay, I'll get you a ream of letterhead. And you want brochures tomorrow? Okay, you got brochures. And James, wouldn't it be great? Oh, you want me to come and clean your pipes tomorrow? Yeah, I'll be by tomorrow. Clean your pipes, no problem. It doesn't work that way. Especially if you're in finance or banking or something, or real estate, to think that people are going to they don't know you, and you expect them that they're going to turn their business over to you just like that. It just, especially on something as important as real estate or finance, it's just not going to happen. It's about relationship building. And that's why I was saying, you want to be known as the connector. You want people, when they need somebody that does mobile marketing, they want to think of you right away. When they need somebody that they just had a tree fall in their yard, they want to think of me right away so that I could say, oh, you want to call George Mello, or when something happens, you want them to think of you immediately. You want to be that person that they think of, because you're always thinking ahead of you. You're the one that's talking to people. You're the one that's getting to know people. You're building relationships with other people. That's what I've done over these past several years. I've built so many relationships with people. All you have to do, anybody can call me up and say, I need this. and I will have it. I will have